Hey everyone, this is my Module 5 assignment for the Dignity business. And to answer the first question, what does it mean to be in the Dignity business? It means that whatever our job or role, our end goal is to assist people in living their best lives. Whether you are a general ed or special ed teacher, a para, or a principal, our reason for doing the work we do should be to help their students reach their full potential, live the most independent life possible, and to celebrate who they are, differences and all. Number 2, what can you do in your role to be in the Dignity business? I can start by meeting my students and their families where they are without judgment. I can forget about labels and expecting my students to be in a certain box, and I can accept the challenge of possibly working differently with and for each of my students and their families. I can go to work each day ready to do my best without complaint for my class and be excited that they are not all in the same box. Teaching my students teaches me more than I ever could have expected, so I am receiving help from them daily. It's not just me trying to help them, and I can be grateful for that fact. Number 3, reflect on the first half of the course and discuss how you can be in the Dignity business while upholding the 6 principles of IDEA. We all know it is not always easy to follow each point of the law as teachers. The laws for our students are often confusing, time-consuming, and our coworkers may disagree about the interpretation at times. When parents do not come through as we would like on a timely basis, it may feel easier to leave them out of the process so we can get on with the business of teaching. Besides, we most likely have a dozen other students about whom we need to discuss and meet with their parents, and there are time limits for completing assessments and meetings. But the 6 principles of IDEA, free appropriate public education, appropriate evaluation, individualized education plan, least restrictive environment, parent participation, and procedural safeguards, have been put in place for the care of students and their families. And that is, after all, presumably why we show up to work every day. We are there to help and support our students and families, and that is not always easy and straightforward. There are, of course, teachers who only do what is asked because they don't want to be written up or sued, but I think most educators are there to make a difference in their students' lives, and IDEA is an excellent roadmap to help us do just that. And number 4, which has disappeared, grounded in what you learned in this module about parent participation and collaboration, how can you, in your role, work with families and be in the Dignity business? As one of the 6 principles of IDEA, parent participation should be given the same level of seriousness as the other 5. Sometimes, as educators, we joke that teaching would be so much easier if we only had to deal with the kids. But parents are legally given the right to equal participation. That means we must not only make every attempt to include them in all meetings, tests, and accommodations, we need to work with them as a team. Many families will work with the same team for years as their child remains in one school, and animosity is not going to make that easier. We need to understand that the parents are the experts in their kids, not us as the teachers. We have ideas and suggestions and supports to offer, but the parents are the ultimate decision makers, whether we agree or not. We also need to understand that not all parents have come to terms with their child's difficulties, and they may need a lot of time and support to get there if they ever do. To follow the letter and the spirit of IDEA's 5th principle, we need to go above and beyond to support and encourage our students' families. It may not work with every family, but it's our role as educators to try our best for everyone. As Turnbull points out in regards to the case of Burlington School Committee versus Massachusetts Department of Education, schools cannot simply ignore parents and refuse to deal with them. They and the parents have a duty to work with each other in good faith, at least in ways that they can resolve their differences and do their best for the student. Schools have the greater advantage as far as funds and expertise, and they need to be very careful not to flaunt that fact to the parents. That would very quickly escalate a situation to an extremely negative point.